That's what I heard. Maybe you already have stopped and you just haven't had a chance to realize it yet.
Right. And you're not the same person today that you were yesterday.
No.
I think that lands so, you know how things land and it's like really heavy, but yet at the same time it's not a thud.
It's not a thud.
It's
It's
just a
a woof.
yes. Like
Yes.
I'm holding this, 50-pound truth.
Bomb.
What are those medicine ball? Like they
Yes.
like somebody just threw and
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And we're not
Yeah.
the same we're not, sometimes we are. Sometimes, yeah, I'm the same person I was yesterday. But when you do all that healing and you get that, oh shit. Okay, so what's coming through is when you get that clarity one day and then the next day you feel like, well, nothing's changed. It has, you're not the same person, but your ego, your whatever that pattern of feeling the same way, that's up to you to change that.
Yes.
So just like you just did now, it's up to me to say, wait, nope, not the same person I was just yesterday.
Yeah. And I am absolutely hands down
Oh,
not the same person.
you had, now I know what I had Saturday was flipping huge. The enlightenment that I got, which is a beautiful new word. I love that. And we'll have to explain what that means because that word itself has been so blown out of, whatever.
Right.
Kind of like my truth. You have had crazy three Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Over
Yeah.
the top,
Yeah. Well, I
amaze
would have
balls.
I would have said that Friday and Saturday were over the top until yesterday.
Till yesterday happened.
Until there was that 1 hour of time that I swear,
Yeah.
remembering it was a much longer event
Yes.
than
Yes.
than 1 hour. And I don't know, can I put it in a nutshell as to what happened? As you and I were talking about something and you brought a new perspective to look at something,
Yeah.
I felt like the sides of a box fell away from me.
That's right. I remember you saying that.
And I was like, whoa, I
Yes.
can't explain what just happened, but
Yeah.
that's what it felt like, these sides of a box. And it was like, well, that's cool.
Yes.
And you had called it freedom. And I was like, yeah, that feels right. And we had ended, I think we were texting.
I think
Yeah.
so too.
And our conversation had ended, and I went about whatever it was I was doing. And the things I was thinking about, which mostly was our conversation, it was like instead of being able to see a half a mile, I could see 5 miles.
Yes.
Instead of seeing the top of the garbage pile, I could see all the way to the bottom. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm in my kitchen, and this song, Wind Beneath My Wings, has been so on my mind the past week. And it really brought me around to my higher self.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm singing it, and I thought, I need to listen to this. I need to know what these lyrics really say, because I think I've got this out of context. And I'm listening to it. And one of the very first lines, it must have been cold there in my shadow.
Yes.
And the lump in my throat Because for me, what that meant was my higher self allowed me to go most of my life by ego. My life was run by my ego.
Yes.
And I kept my spirit self away.
Yes.
And so she just walked behind me, waiting.
Yes.
You're everything I ever wanted to be.
Yes.
I'm listening to these lyrics and I'm just like, oh my God. The acceptance that I was able to come to with my higher self, that higher being that I really do want to be the forefront of my everyday life. And I remember texting you saying, I don't know what this feeling is. And
Yes.
you said true love.
I did? Oh, yes. I am so good.
You said true love. And I don't even know that you knew that
That's
I was
just what
having this
came
experience with my higher self.
No, I had no idea.
And I will be damned. I realize the song that had come up next on whatever playlist I'm listening to, I want to know what love is. I know you can show me. And I started to sob. It was, yes. I tell you, yes. Everyone who's listening, you might be going, oh my God, this is so corny. And yes. Really come on. No, this was a spiritual experience extraordinaire.
Yes.
That higher self, soul, self-love experience that I had was beyond anything I have ever experienced in my life. And
you've had some big experiences. And you've had big experiences with your higher self as well.
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Pull this down. It's like really bright in my eyes. There we go. That's better. Woo! And I do want to say something.
Yes.
That spirit does bring us messaging through songs. And I know most of you know that.
Yes.
And songwriters will often, and you'll hear them say, I don't know, I just started typing or writing and I have no idea. That's coming straight from spirit. It really is. And that's why it can connect so bigly to to all of us, is because it really does. Not every song comes right from spirit. You can tell the songs that are like ego driven and those that are really spirit, from spirit. Mm-hmm. And because they hit you that way, and they will bring them right at the moment. Spirit will bring them right at the moment that you need to hear that the most. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That was a big day. Your whole weekend was big.
It was. And that was, I mean, you want to talk about a cherry on top.
Yes.
It was something else.
Yeah. Okay. And so I want to say hello to everyone, by the way. We just sort of jumped in as we've been doing lately. What happens is we'll just start talking and I'll just hit record.
Well, and that's exactly what happened today. I'm talking and all of a sudden I see this notice and I'm like, oh.
She's recording. Yeah. Because we will talk sometimes an hour, even 2 hours before we start. And it's like, okay, I need to stop. I need to because there's so much good stuff in there and it never gets repeated. So there was no way to repeat. So hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Conscious Spirit Podcast.
Yes.
Yes. Whew. So my question to you then, Mari-Lyn, you had this big experience and we've all had them. Everyone listening can point to a time when that sort of happened. Even those that are saying right now, I don't know if I've had that experience. Yes, you have. You just don't remember. But you have. But now what do you do with that? Now what do you do with, because it's not just, you didn't just hear it or see it or something. That was a soul shaking, soul expanding, really, right? That was a soul expanding experience that absolutely has the potential to change your life.
Yes.
You could hold it back. You could ignore it. You can negate it, whatever.
Yeah. Not really.
No. Well, you won't, but like, if you could choose to just keep thinking, I'm the same person today I was yesterday. And that would negate it. That would negate it.
Yes, it would. Yes.
So what now?
So now
Yeah.
I get to put it into practice.
Mm.
And I already have.
I
already have this morning. In having a conversation, this person I was having a conversation with can go very negative Nancy. You think I used to go negative Nancy? Well, this person can go negative Nancy. And something was said and I plummeted. My vibration dropped. I went into worry. I went into, the what ifs. And, the comment was something about, it was a future comment, right? Years from now.
Okay.
Old me could have really held on to that and really made a problem out of what was really just a event, if you will. And when I got off of the phone, I said, okay, this is old behavior. Mari-Lyn, what do you do?
Beautiful.
And I reconnected. I remembered.
Yes.
Yeah.
It really can be, I'm going to use the word easy, and that's not exactly the word, but it can be as easy as saying, not today. No, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going there. I'm not the same person. You and I have said that. I mean, that's it should be a mantra. I'm not that person anymore. That's it's truly a mantra for us. And sometimes I'll be going through something and all I'll do, I will text her. She doesn't know what I'm going through, Mari-Lyn, and I'll just text her, I'm not that person anymore. And because to just say it, to just express those words, that sentiment out loud is so helpful. And I'm not.
And she doesn't hesitate saying that to me either.
Yes.
I will text something and the reply is, stop it. You're not that person anymore.
Yeah, that's true. And vice versa. Yeah. Yes. Yes. And I wish for all of you that you have a friend like this. I do. Because we all need that friend that is that just solid, blunt with us. That doesn't jump into our shit and go along with the boo-hoo. Like, well, yeah, okay, no. You're not that person.
Yeah.
Woo!
So now what? Yeah, now I remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember. I put it into practice.
And I'm not that person.
I need to remember the healing.
Yes.
And that might sound, what do you mean, remember the healing? But any wounding that we heal, we can bring it back.
Yeah.
We can start ruminating on it and we can dig it up and we can pull back any of that energetic bullshit that we
done it, been there.
It makes it so miserable.
Yes.
Because we're comfortable in being uncomfortable because it's familiar and we know it.
Familiar feelings, familiar. It's like being in a familiar place. There's so much, it's just easy to just hang out there.
Okay. When you are home alone all the time, one of two things happens. You either clean to excess.
Yeah.
Or you don't clean as often.
True.
You don't clean as often.
True.
And when you realize how dirty something is, you go, oh my God, how did I never see this?
Yes.
But you're there all the time.
Yes. Yes.
You don't see it.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable,
So true.
or it's muck.
Yeah.
And it feels great once you clean it, and it's like, oh man, why didn't they
Yes.
know
What the hell? How
because
did
it
I
so
live in that?
good?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
didn't know it
Right.
because it's a slow.
And it's that vibrational match. It really can, that
Mhm.
what your space looks like and not all the time, so don't misunderstand me, but it very much can represent where you're at. Your vibration at the time
Mhm.
spews out all around you.
Mhm.
Yes. And
It
as I
does.
say that, so many of you know this, that my son who lives in Morocco, he had to come back to the States, and so he's staying with us while he's here. His wife unfortunately did not get to come. So anyway, we had to make room, and so we put a lot of the crap into my office. And so I am feeling a bit overwhelmed right now. And so as I said that, I'm looking around at the clutter and I'm thinking, oh no, that's not really my vibration. And then I realize, yeah, Pam, it is. Actually, it is. And you and I have talked about this. And I
Yeah.
think it was like Friday or something. There was one night that okay, so many things. We all know that I'm like this triple air sign, right? So I get into my head a lot and spin, and I make clutter in my head, and I have a hard time sometimes. I don't plan. I'm not a list maker. You'll see me if you watch on YouTube, you'll see I look down a lot and I'm kind of jotting down notes because I will forget because my mind moves fast and I'll move right on to the next thing. And if I don't jot something down, I'll forget. So literally my office right now feels like I've been talking for a week and didn't make any notes. If that makes sense. It's just cluttered up.
Sure. Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I need to just, he'll be leaving soon, but even with him here, I could still straighten this stuff up. I could still do it. But
Yeah,
I'm sort of going,
but it's not that easy.
it's not
Simple,
that
yes,
easy.
but not that easy.
It's well, right here, my little spot, right here where I work in front of my computer screen, I have it, it's fine. But just a little bit over here and a little bit over there, there's
Right.
stuff.
So I have this hate relationship with the kitchen.
Yes, you do. Your kitchen. Not
My
any
kitchen.
kitchen, just your
My
kitchen.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Always have. Doesn't matter where I've lived. I hate the kitchen.
Oh, so it is any kitchen.
Yeah. Well, any kitchen I live in.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yes. Where I live.
Okay.
Um, and I have been wanting to make some changes in my kitchen. I mean, there's very limited changes I can make.
Hmm.
Um, but I have one, it's a rack. It's a short three-tiered rack that I had squeezed in and it fit perfect. And then there was like no spare space in there. It's like, well, I had this brilliant idea of a use for that three-tiered rack. So it just dawned on me yesterday. I moved that out of my kitchen.
Oh,
Yesterday, I had a huge breakthrough.
breakthrough.
And the gross muck I was talking about was behind this rack.
So what you're telling me very nicely is that I need to get off my ass and clean my office.
And clean your room.
I hear you, and I
And you
will
will.
do that. But
It is.
it does help clear. And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it is so. You've been to my house. You know, I don't have a lot of stuff. I can't have the clutter around because it clutters my channel and it clutters my brain. Oh my God. And so I've been sitting here in this office and it's all cluttery. And I'm just thinking, what have I been doing? This isn't like me to have this much. So, except for my clothes closet. I have kind of it's a walk-in closet and it's a mess, but I can just close the door and I don't have to live in that space. Oy, okay, go ahead. So you got rid of it and it was behind.
Yeah, it just dawned on me that I did that yesterday, and yesterday I had this breakthrough.
Yes.
Um,
Woo!
so there's something about the
Yes.
procrastination
Mhm.
and being ready. I don't know, but the point is for everybody
Yes.
listening, clean house has a very dual meaning. And
Oh,
when you're
100%.
ready
100%.
to clean house
Yes.
internally,
Yes.
cleaning literal house
Mhm.
is going to come either right before, right after, or simultaneously.
Absolutely. With a breakthrough, a spiritual breakthrough. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean, okay, I'm gonna make sure because this just came in. There are
Yes.
people, and I know, and I have a sister-in-law actually who is, oh, and a sister. So who both are so clean, like that you could white glove their house.
Mm-hmm.
Don't open that closet because everything's going to fall out. Don't open that drawer because there's going to, you know what I mean? So, like on the surf, everything has a place and it's perfect and it's wiped down and it's, but that says so perfectly who they really are spiritually. Neither one of them have a spiritual practice. Um, they're both hiding all kinds of baggage. Like they have not healed their shit. They are not, you know what I mean? So I'm just, as you're talking, it's like ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
really does. It really cut 3D is there is a reflection there of who you are, how healed you are, how, because everything doesn't have to be squeaky clean.
Oh God, I hope not.
Oh God, yeah, I know. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a connection there.
Yeah.
And if your house is really messy, maybe just ask yourself why. Now, when I was a stay-at-home mom raising kids, my house, I mean, the house was the last thing that I picked up. I was raising my children. They were little and they were running around, and something has to give in that situation, and it wasn't going to be my children. I wasn't going to like
Right.
sacrifice them. So there are situations, but even with that, look at that. And there, how do you keep your house clean? Are you holding on to a bunch of stuff that really should probably go? Like, do you have closets full of crap or a basement or a attic or are you just instead
Two
of
addicts.
you've also been there for 40 years, which
Well, true.
yeah, and we've talked about that. We've
That's true.
moved around so much, we get rid of stuff.
Yeah.
But but
we as a couple,
Mhm.
um, we together have moved one time, and that was into this house.
Yeah. And you're going to have a lot of stuff, but it's so easy to just I don't use this or something, and you just put it somewhere out of sight, out of mind, and then it sits there for God
And
only
then it gets
knows how long.
buried, and it's like,
Yes,
oh my God.
yes,
Yes.
yeah. And
Yeah.
that is worth looking at. It's sort of comparing where you're at. Are you just carrying baggage around
Mhm.
in your home in 3D? That probably means you're carrying baggage around your own shit, your
And
own wounding. Yep.
is all this baggage yours?
Hi, everyone. Just a quick message to remind you that we are at tcseverydaypsychics.com. If you need a healing, a reading, if you want to develop, there are classes there. You want to find your spiritual self, whatever you need spiritually, we've got you covered. You may not see it on the website. We're still under construction because it takes us a while to get things done, but reach out to us. There is a contact form there. We'd be happy to talk to you, happy to work something out. Consultations are always free. Check it out. Again, tcseverydaypsychics.com. Also, we have the paranormal channel. If you're interested in that, if you're interested in all things sort of paranormal, we do bring obviously spiritual stuff into it because we can't help it. We have to. That's who we are. Check us out there on YouTube at TCS Everyday Psychics. Thank you so much for all you do for us and all your support. We appreciate all of you so very much. Okay, back to the podcast.
Chances are, if your home or part of your home is filled with things from other people that you couldn't allow to be
Yes.
sent away,
Yes.
you're probably holding on energetically to things that aren't yours either.
Absolutely.
I know I
someone
was
passed away, and so you got a bunch of their stuff, and well, I
Yep.
can't give it up because it's a. No, you can. They're not here anymore. They're in a place where they could give a shit about material stuff. Like
Right.
if you're thinking that it would hurt them or something, that's not going to happen. That's not happening. They don't care. Maybe keep, keep one thing that reminds you of them. That's really like us, whatever.
I will say,
Yes.
opening the bottom cabinet of my grandmother's hutch cabinet and getting that smell of
Yes.
it's still there.
Yes.
It is so amazing
And
to me.
smell is it just triggers memory. Yeah.
I'll like open it. In fact, I had to get into it yesterday, and I opened the door, and it was like I wanted to close it because I wanted to preserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can have that memory. See, that's
She's been gone for decades.
Yes. But it's so nice, isn't it? That comes back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That reminds me of when we did in-person meditations.
Yeah.
Oh no, I've talked about this. Fred's Meds that is now on this channel, whom if you've never done them, I do encourage you to try and start one. They are life-changing.
They're amazing.
Anyway, I had a list of things that you could not do. And I know it seemed really like some people, it really irritated them that I was so strict on some things, but one of them was smell. Do not wear any kind of perfume, any sort of fragrance in, because it can trigger memory. Like you might think it's oh, come on, it's just a little whatever. Let's say a deodorant that's like lilac or something. Well, you know what? That can really trigger someone into some trauma from their childhood or that. Yes. And it's just not.
Yeah.
And you don't, and we had that happen. It didn't happen a lot, but a couple times someone would get really triggered by a smell. Smell is something, man. It really takes you back.
Yeah.
It really opens up.
It is a doozy.
Woof. Yes, it is.
It is.
It is. I wanted to talk about something today, and okay. So my son and I, the one that's here from Morocco, he's also the psychic one. He's very psychic. He's not a practicing psychic, I guess you would say. but he is. And traveling through, he travels around the world, and he traveled through Morocco, and he met his now wife there. And I don't want this to trigger anyone either. Please listen to me through before you make a snap decision to sign off or something. To marry her, because it's a Muslim country, he became Muslim to do so. Now, that's the part that could trigger people. Now, I know there are different sectors of the Muslim community and that whole religion around the world. They are not jihadists, they're not Islamic terrorists, they're not, there's a whole side of it that is just ugly. And that's mostly what we hear about in the news, is this ugly side. There is a very beautiful, moderate, just like Christianity as well. There are those, and Morocco is one of those countries. They don't have, they have a lot of Jews that live there. It's a beautiful country, and the Muslim people there, it's really beautiful. Anyway, and I also have a son who's Catholic. My husband's Christian. Like we're kind of this mishmash family, right? Spiritually. Anyway, with that said, I wanted to say that to say he and I were talking today because he was raised with me as his mother, being psychic and being metaphysical. But that's the piece I wanted to talk about because he and I were having this conversation today. And he was saying, Mom, because he worked at it when he first between college and his first, when he went to lived in Australia for a year, he worked at this metaphysical store. They sell crystals and so forth. And he liked it, but he was never quite in it. But that was kind of so he started asking me how I'm so different. And I thought, what a great conversation to have with Mari-Lyn. And I know you and I have talked about that because people either want to put us in that metaphysical box. Mm-hmm. You're crazy because you're just a loon tune because they don't believe in psychics and whatever. But then you and I talk a lot about, no, we're not a religion. We don't have a church that we subscribe to. Not even these new agey churches. We don't subscribe to any of them. But we do have what I think is structure to what we do. And that's not part of being metaphysical. Metaphysical people, that there isn't a sort of container there. We bring that container. We have more of that structure like a church would, that we're not churchy, but there is a big spiritual piece to what you and I do.
Oh, a huge. It's all spiritual.
It is, but but that brings the structure, I think, or that's what I'm thinking. So I'm asking you, is that the piece that brings that? Because you'll hear people say, well, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual. And I kind of get what they're saying there, sure. However, we do have, I wouldn't say the 10 commandments, but we have commandments. We have that we're not as just metaphysical or witchy or shamanism, that there's a little, well, I'm going to take shamanism out of there. I'm sorry. Some other type of earth practices, they're pretty willy-nilly. It's kind of like, oh, whatever you do, it's fine. And we don't quite have that.
No. What we have is a human spiritual understanding of free will.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you, cowboy.
Wait, say that again.
It's a human spiritual understanding of free will.
Yes. Love that. Yes, thank you, cowboy.
And
Cowboys
we operate on the premise of healing and owning ourselves and discovering love.
Yes. I love that. A human spiritual understanding of free will. That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is. Yes.
So I don't even remember what word you used. Structure. Mm-hmm. I don't know about structure, but what I'm getting is that we have such a solid foundation.
I love that's even better. Yeah. Yes.
Because structure puts spirit in a box and we can't.
And you just came out of a big old box.
I did just come out of a big old box. Now, man-made religion is very structured.
That does have a box.
It has a box. Yeah. And
some more than others.
It limits the ability I'm
Mhm.
just checking in to see. I am checking to see if I'm supposed to say this.
Yes. Well, it's fear-based. We're not
It
fear-based.
it is fear-based. It limits a person's ability to recognize their own free will.
Yes. Yes, I love that.
And some of you might be going, "What are you talking about?"
Yes. I don't understand.
If we buy into the fear
Mhm.
of God, because that's what you always hear, right? You need to be a God-fearing person.
Yes, the punishment.
Our free will to trust is tampered.
So when you just said that, so when there is and Mari-Lyn and I, just so you know, I've always had, and so does Mari-Lyn, have had people who go to church, who are church going people, come to us. Like, we are really open to everyone.
Mhm.
Whatever, if you're trying, it has nothing to do, like, there are Christians that just hate us. They think that we're the devil and all sorts of things.
Yep.
So it does happen.
Yep.
but but there again, that's they're so afraid to open to anyone else's to seeing God in another way, to seeing God as the way we see, we use the word spirit, but opening to this is not about punishment. There are things that you should not do, not because you're afraid of the punishment that's going to happen, but
Because
but
it's
what? Uh-oh.
because it's just not nice.
Right, right. There are things, and how are you going to feel after, doing the right thing? You do it because it's the right thing, because it comes from a place of integrity. It comes from that place of doing the right thing, right? So, and spiritually, there's a lot of gray area. There are some things that are right and wrong. But really, there's a lot of gray area, and that's where our free will comes in. I can decide to do this bad thing,
Mhm.
but really, you're the one that pays for it. I'm the one that pays for it after from myself.
Mhm.
I'm the one that has to then deal with that at some point,
And
whether it
whether it's in life or in spirit form
or the next life,
or in another life.
right?
Well, and it's never mind. I was told you were wrong. I'm wrong. I was wrong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, never
Uh,
mind. Thank you.
yes. So that is kind of what makes us different, though, is that you use the word foundation. I can
Yep.
totally get on board with that. Is
Yep.
that foundation of we're here in human form to learn lessons, yes, to make mistakes, yes, to get hurt, yes, to get traumatized, to get wounded. And then our job is to not punish other people, to hurt other people from that trauma and that wounding, not to
Mhm.
put it off on other people, is
Mhm.
to truly look in that mirror
Mhm.
and for us to heal and grow, to apologize, to feel remorse, to feel regret. Shame is different. Shame really doesn't have a lot of place here, although we do feel shame a lot, but that's really self-destructive. Shame is.
So one of the purposes of shame
Mhm.
is to learn to overcome it.
Yes, well said. Yes. You and I have both, we come from a generation where parents shamed us as a form of, well, control, but to teach us to be what they wanted us to be. Lots of shame. That was a
Lots of
tool
shame.
that parents used on their children in those
Mhm.
days. Still
Mhm.
happens today, of
It
course,
does. It does.
but that
Yeah.
was a big thing for us.
And I think it's bred out of ignorance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes. So, yeah. So we are not just metaphysical. We're not religious. We are definitely spiritual with a little bit of
Absolutely.
metaphysical sort of sprinkled in for good measure.
Mm,
But but that's also, wow. Okay. So that's also just part of what we teach, right? When someone comes to, say, Mari-Lyn, who is brilliant at helping people find their spiritual path and just speaking to spirit and tapping in, that's, you could also call that psychic. I usually call it like intuition, your own personal intuition, but it's kind of like psychic light. But but that's
But
but
well,
religion doesn't, or like most Christian religions do not teach you to do that. It's only the priest or the whoever's standing up there, the, I can't even think of what I'm trying to say right now.
I can't help you. Don't know.
I know my brain, it just, yeah. Uh,
But
the pastor, that's where I was trying to go.
oh,
They're the only ones that can tap in. The rest of you can't. Well, that's BS. No, that's how,
I have yet to meet, not that I have met many pastors or priests, but I have yet to meet one who's psychic.
yeah, right. They do, yes, because they don't walk around that way. They sit in meditation or however they do it at the or they get, I had a vision last night when I was sleeping so they do get it, but we all do. We all do. And so so we help teach you, don't negate that. That's truly spirit talking to you. We all have a direct line to spirit. Does it
That,
feel? Mm-hmm.
yeah, sorry, that intuition,
Yeah.
that intuition
Yes. We
is
all have intuition.
that
Every
is your highest self speaking directly to you.
Yes. Yes. And the reason we have, I mean, you can talk to your spirit guides. You can talk right if you want to say God or the universal energy, whatever verbiage you want on there. Talk directly, and you'll be sent whomever you need to sort of help you and guide you along with that. So, and that's another piece that is not very religious. I mean, they have like Jesus or Muhammad or Ganesh or whomever, whatever your religion is. But we have more than that. We're sort of expanded on that, what we do with guides and that. And that could be sort of metaphysical as well, I guess. So I'm just trying to figure that he just brought up that point, and I know we've talked about it, but it was really, for some reason, there was something he said about it that really opened up. He was saying how happy he is, first of all. So he has taken certainly what he's learned from me, and now he has this new thing. And does he agree with everything? No, he doesn't agree with everything with me either. Like but he's finding his own space within that.
Mhm.
And it's really beautiful to watch him do that. I'm really very happy for him. finding, and he's always, his psychic intuition, whatever is, yeah, he's on the money with that, but he's not practicing.
So, we've talked many, many times about how multiple things can exist at the same time.
Yes.
And if you think about how many different people there are in the world,
Yes.
every person has a different perspective.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Yes.
I don't even remember where I had heard this, but it was about perspective. And in a football stadium,
Mhm.
there is one football game being played.
Yes. Oh,
However,
yeah. No, you're, uh-huh.
every seat in that stadium gives you a different perspective.
Mhm.
So, however many seats there are in that stadium, that's how many games are being played.
Yes. Yeah. That's like when, on a smaller scale, a car wreck. Everyone that just watched that car wreck, every witness has a
Saw
different
a
take on
different
what,
thing.
yes.
Yes. Yes. So, how then would it be possible when you're talking about something as vast as spirit or
Yes.
God or
Yes.
whatever you want to call it,
Yes.
something that vast? How can every person have the same view? It is impossible.
Well, and here's something else that's been coming up for us lately. Hence the reason we do one-on-one and not group. We have a group thing that we do, but it's a meditation thing. So meditations can be done in a group. Everyone's going to get something different.
Right? It's one meditation that comes out of Pam's mouth.
Yes.
And yet it is so individual for every person that experiences it.
Yes. It's yes.
Do you know what I would love? This really is a dream of mine.
Oh, okay. Do tell.
To have you on a stage with thousands of people in the audience.
Yes.
And you do a guided meditation with Fred.
Yes.
And then hear the 1,000 different stories.
Oh, there's heaven to me right there.
That
and a live piano, I'm just saying. Or a live cellist or violins or something. Oh, I have what'd you call them? Truth chills.
Truth chills. Yes, truth chills. Love yes, truth chills.
That would be
that would just be and I tell you, the vibration that would be in that room, oh man, it would be so high.
Yes. We'd rocket ship out of there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It would be glowing.
Would be crazy. Yeah.
People would be saying, oh,
yes.
Yeah.
However, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, so I was just going to say, but that's why, and that's what we do. People ask us all the time, hey, can you do do you do groups for trainings and for development and everything? And no, I mean, it's really hard to do that because everyone is everyone's clairs are different. Everyone connects differently. Everyone's experiences in life are different. Everything about us is so different than everyone else.
So different.
That's why we do class one-on-one.
Yep. And trust me, I have been for the last, I don't know, couple of months bouncing around. Yes. How could I do groups? How could I do groups? Yes. And
yes, you're gonna lose people. And that's what we always come down to. It's like in a group, you're going to lose people because you're going to be talking and giving information and it's not going to fit everyone. Mm-hmm. You really have to sit with each person individually and give them guidance on their way of finding what they're looking for, their way of opening up to spirit and so forth. Mm-hmm. So for those of you who want us to do groups, we appreciate it and we love that you suggest it, but it ain't gonna happen. Now meditations, that's different. That's different because we're not helping you. We're not, it's very different.
Very different.
You're being guided. Spirit is totally guiding you. When you're sitting in a class with me or with Mari-Lyn or a Nathan, yes, you're mm-hmm. getting that physical person here helping you, mm-hmm. So kind of like moving you in the right position so you can get to where you're going. So, but for those of you, she's still trying to work out how that might work. But I gave that up a long time ago.
The spirit's not giving me an answer.
No, because
and sometimes, as we know, no answer is the answer.
Yes. Well, and remember, so Mari-Lyn was a medium before she came to me, and then it was actually my dad led her to me, which I'm very grateful. Thank you, Dad. And where was I going with this? Oh, I lost where I was going. There was something really fun I had to say, and I don't remember.
About me?
Oh, now I remember. Yes, and I said, you have to go. So we connected immediately. She started with development right away because there's, Fred has a different type of development. Anyway, and I said, you have to go to other teachers. You just have to experience other teachers. And you did. And most teachers do groups. They don't do one-on-one. So you went to a few groups.
Yeah.
And I remember you complaining about what the hell did I just and that's just the nature of groups. You don't get as much out of it at all. Believe me, an hour one-on-one with a teacher is completely different than an hour 10 to 1 mm-hmm. or however many. Yeah.
It's true.
Anyway, I
It's true.
digress.
It's true.
Yes. So thank you everyone for those suggestions. And again, she's working on it, but it's an odd.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's
Woo.
probably I think we just zoomed through an hour real quick here.
It's quite possible.
Yes,
It is quite possible.
it is. Oh, and I will link below. I did a podcast.
You did.
I did.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you remembered to bring
Yes,
it up
it
because
was
I forgot.
it was very last minute. He
Mhm.
reached out to me and said, "My guest tonight canceled. Can you come on?" And I just happened, it's like, sure, okay. It's of the paranormal nature. So most of you that listen to this also listen to our paranormal channel, TCS Everyday Psychics,
Mhm.
but not all of you. Anyway, if you're interested, I'll put the link below. It was the name of it is Paranormal 60.
Mhm.
And he is a ghost hunter, so his view is different than mine. And but it was just an hour. That hence that's the 60. It's like 60 minutes is what that
Yeah.
Paranormal 60. It was fun.
It
Yeah.
was fun to watch. It was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was very funny and very engaging, and I didn't at any time feel like there were a couple times I was like, "Oh, that's not what I need to say something to him." But then I pulled back and was like, "You know what? You don't need to do that because he was very kind and cordial, and he knew my beliefs before he had me on. So
Yes.
he he brought me on knowing that we have some differences, and he invited me back again in a few months, and so I'll go back on and maybe we'll have a little more tango going on. But you kind of I appreciated it because I don't want to tango with someone unless I once I have sort of a connection with him,
Exactly.
then I
Exactly. There's a level of trust
yes.
um, to be built sometimes when you're going at things from an opposing view, because
Yes.
without that trust, that there can be this feeling of attack
Yes.
from either person. So
Mhm.
no, I think you did great.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you.
yeah, I would love to see a little bit of back and forth debate.
Me too. I would. And I
Yeah,
think we'll get there. I was trying to
yeah.
see, I can't remember. I know it was Dave, but I can't. Dave Schrader. That's his name. The Paranormal 60, it might be podcast. I don't know. But the Paranormal 60.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'll link that below. And for those of you on even for those of you just on the listen only platforms, I'll put it in the description box
Great.
for you. Please go listen. It's really fun. Again, it's the paranormal piece. Some of you don't like the paranormal piece, and that's why you listen to our podcast and not
Yes.
watch our
And
show.
that's okay.
There it is.
Totally okay.
Yes. So, all right.
All right. Well, thank you everybody. Like,
Yes.
subscribe, share, all that good stuff.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Catch you next time.
Bye.